Hello everyone and welcome to another Dominaria United draft. Alright, so this pack has, I think, 3 options for first picking. Firebrand, Battling Mystic and Solarian Geyser. And I don't know when you would take the Geyser over the Battling Mystic, but if you really prefer that pick, I think they are fairly close in their power level. But I do want to have the aggressive 2-drops over more expensive cards because I usually you will have I mean the quality 2-drops are more rare to get than any of the more expensive cards. Alright, so but I think I'll take the Vibrant. It's really good because even if you don't activate the domain ability or the ability that has a discount for domain, this is still a 2-mana 3-1 that makes something unable to block anyone. Not just unable to block Rata, but unable to block any of your creatures. That is really strong. And of course, even in a 2-color deck, you will be able to activate the +2/+2 with 4 mana, which sometimes you have as an extra lying around, or alternatively, you have a threat of activation there. And then, of course, if you do activate it before blocks, before attacks, then you get to, deny blocking from even some larger creature. Alright, so this pack has basically 2 options, Lagomos and Phyrexian Missionary. I think the Missionary is slightly better because it is also a totally reasonable 2-mana 2/3 with lifelink. Of course, you want to kick it, but in this case, because my first pick was red, I think I should take the red-black card. Because, if I took the Missionary, it would be like, if I want to play both 2-drops, it would be red-white and maybe splash the kicker with some lands, but here I could just take the Lagomos and try to be black-red and well, you could take either of them. I just chose to take the Lagomos now. Alright, so if I took the white card there, it would be the Cleaving Skyrider. Now that I didn't, I'm just gonna take the Flowstone Kavu. Yep, I like it quite a bit as a 3-drop. And here, so still have a couple of black cards. The rare I don't think is very good at all. I'll take the Infusion. I'm most likely. So it seems like I will be red, so Infusion is totally acceptable. I think the Soul Tender can be better, especially in some decks, but I still could, move away from the black, and I have already 2 red cards before the Infusion, so I should maybe solidify myself in that color. Okay, so now there's another Soul Tender here. I think it might be time to take it now. I do like the Molten Monstrosity, especially if you get some N-list creatures. You can make this like a 4-drop in some cases. You only need a 4 power creature to make this a 4-drop. With N-listers, that's no problem if they survive the attack, of course. So the question is between the Monstrosity and the Soul Tenderer. I have quite a few. Well, I have 2 3-drops, but it's still quite a lot of 3-drops early stages in the draft. But let's take the Soul Tenderer still. And now there is an Argiven Cavalier, which is quite good, but I think I'll just take the 2-mana red creature. So with this amount of red cards, I can just choose my second color. Maybe a little bit later it could be black, but it can be anything else. I have no reason to force black with just these 2 black cards. That's not exactly limited playable here. 2-mana 1/1. The lords that are 2-mana 2/2s are limited playable because of that stat line, but in this case not so great. I suppose I can take the Furious Bellow. I wouldn't mind the Branch Rider if I end up in red-green, but the green hasn't been very open here, so it's not very likely to be there. I don't like the Connoisseur enough to pick it here. I take just a totally reasonable combat trick here. Alright, so Strike Team has to be picked here. I don't like to play it if I can't kick it, but I could be red-white, and then of course I'm sad about not picking the Phyrexian Missionary over the Lagomos, but how could I know at that stage which is gonna be open here? Alright, let's take the Strike Team. Vivisector though, there's a Sunlit Mask, there's also a Molten Monstrosity. Huh. Alright, should I take the 2-drop? Or the Monstrosity? I don't think the Sunlit Marsh is the pick, or the Worm here. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit boring pick, but I could take the Vivisector. Although if I end up a red green, I would like to have the monstrosity. But let's take the black card here still. Okay, here I'm going to take one of these red cards. Maybe I just should take the 2-drop. Let's take the cheaper card. Okay, so I don't really have an idea what is my second color. I guess I can take something like the Vanguard here. Or maybe is the Librarian better? I mean, it's playable in any color, but... Okay, here I can take the Fire Tornado. Fine. Fine. Okay, Hordigin. Does that make me draft blue? Not necessarily. There is a Phyrexian Rager in this pack. The best cards in the pack don't really work with red, so there's... I mean, of course the Hordigin does. It would be my first blue card. But the Rona's Vortex, Strength of the Coalition, and the Rough, all the uncommons, which are good, don't really work well with my red cards, which, you know, I won't be abandoning the red in this. It would be a weird draft if I somehow ended up with something else than red in my deck. Alright, so I think it's going to be the Rager, right? I have like some black cards. Not really that strong incentive to move to some other color, so let's take the Rager. Timeless Lotus. Oh, another Lagomos here. I think the Warhost's Frenzy can come back. I quite often see it tabling or going late. For a good reason, it's not really that amazing, but I do like it in black-red, because the 3-mana version of this spell is situationally cool, but when you can basically kick it always when you feel like it's what you want to do, then it can be really good. But I mean, obviously the pick is another copy of Lagomos here, and let's try to get something like Bone Splinters now, because it's really good with Lagomos. Writing Necromass, Amplifier. Actually, the only pick for me is the Necromass. This could be playable in black-red if it has some spell focus, but it's not gonna be the pick over the Necromass here. Bellow. Okay, I guess it's just gonna be another Necromass. I already have one Soul Tender, now I want to have more of those. And okay, I don't need the Monstrosity now since I already have a couple of big creatures here. I'll take the Warbrute. I don't have any 4-drops, as you can see. This is 3 drops, 3 mana slot. This is 5 mana slot. So even though the Blessing is like okay, I think I'd rather just take the creature here. When you have multiple Necromasses, you also want to have a bunch of creatures in your deck. I mean, not just a bunch of creatures, but a large amount of creatures. Okay, I have one Enthrall to the Pit. I can't see myself sideboarding into 2 of them. It's gonna be a sideboard card in this kind of deck. So I'll just be greedy and take 20 gems. I don't think I care about the Salvage Mana Worker either, so let's take 20 gems. Thrill of Possibility or the Hero's Heirloom are the only cards for my colors. I think I'm pretty much locked into black-red unless I open some sick bum rare from the pack 3 that's not black or red. I'm not sure. I mean, Lagomos gets hasty. It's not really the greatest creature to be equipped, so maybe I'll take the Thrill of Possibility. I don't think the equipment is that good. Now I can take a 3-mana 3/3 Menace. That is a good stat line. I don't think I have any dragons. There would have to be some rares. There's at least one dragon in the set, the mythic dragon with X in its mana cost. But I mean, 3-mana 3/3 Menace. That's a common I would play in every deck where I can cast it. It is better than your average 2-drop. I mean 3-drop. Furious Bellow number 2. I guess I'm not that interested in the Shadow Prophecy when I don't even have more domain capability than 2. Okay, I got the Warhost's Frenzy, which I'm really happy to take here. And then am I gonna sideboard into the axe? I guess it's like a possibility, so let's take that. I got the Mana Worker. So who knows, maybe I get some... I don't think the 2-mana 3/3 Defender is interested in this deck, so I'll take this if I find some kicker costs I want to be able to cast. Okay, there are still 2 options, but I guess the Blessing can be picked now because I have these 2 big creatures, so maybe the 3rd one is a little bit unnecessary. Okay, I got the Gardener here, that has to be the pick, right? A really good one. This is one of the actual better of these uncommons. 4 mana 4/3 as a stat line is like a little bit below average, or let's say below what you want your 4-drop to be, but when you take into account the ability, which is really good, you can basically just attack without caring about stuff other than maybe Gardener getting killed before your attackers getting killed, but you don't have to attack with Gardener. Yeah, so it's gonna be the peak easily. I'm just looking if I get something back like a Flowstone Infusion. Is that a possibility? I guess it is. Okay, Knight of the Dusk Shadow. I don't think I have to. I mean, I'm gonna obviously check the options, but when I don't see a rare in the pack and I'm playing black and I see a Knight of Dusk Shadow, what other card could be better in the pack than this? I mean, what common would you pick in black red? A Lightning Strike? I wouldn't take a Lightning Strike over this in this case, maybe. I don't think I need the Lightning Strike that much. I mean, there is no Lightning Strike. That's just, you know, hypothetical discussion there. But these knights are so good. Crystal Grotto. Don't care about it. I don't necessarily care about the Steel Crusher number 3 either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I could take a 2-drop still. There's a Battle of Life Swamp too, but nah. Let's take the 2-drop still. Okay, anything good here? I haven't seen a Bone Splinters, which I really would want to have with double Lagomos, because you get the sacrifice for totally free there. Okay, so aggressive sabotage. Is that better than the Kavu? Because I have a bunch of 3-drops. I don't necessarily need. Oh, I'm not gonna play the strike team. I have all these 3-drops. I don't necessarily need the Kavu here anymore. I could be greedy and take the 20 gems here too, but well, you know what? I'm actually taking the gems. I think the sabotage comes back anyway, and even if it doesn't, I don't think I'm often gonna play it. Oh, the White Knight is here, number 5. Pick number 5 here. Sadly, it's not in my colors. I can take the Connoisseur now. I don't think I need a 4th of these Steel Crushers. I have now enough 2-drops, but I can take the Flyer here now that I know I will be black, so the double caster is no problem. And this is an interesting decision between 20 gems and something else. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to take 20 gems because both the Infusion and the Soul Tender are actually good cards, whichever I'm gonna pick, it's gonna go to my deck. With double Necromass, I'm leaning towards the Soul Tender, so let's take that. I might be needing to have another Fire Nado, but it is a 5 mana card and I already have the creature here too and 1 Fire Nado. Maybe I'll just take the Smash to Dust for my sideboard. This is a best of 3 draft. I'll do that. And oh, another Gardener. Oh man, why is... Because I have these double casters. I want to have the bug, but I can't pass on the Gardener here. I actually have a double Lagomos, double Gardener deck, but why couldn't this bug be in any of the other packs? Oh well. I'm still happy to get an 8-picked Gardener there. That's absolutely great. Alright, I'm gonna take the uncommon because I'm not going to sideboard into the Gibbering Barricade. Not gonna happen. And here, with double Gardener I could even take the Monstrosity. I don't think I'm gonna maybe main deck it, but I could sideboard it in matchups where it will be particularly amazing. Sadly, and this is bad card. I pick it because it's the only for my colors, but I don't see myself sideboarding it in. So I didn't get any Bone Splinters. That's sad. Okay, 28. Yeah, this is going to be. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 17 land deck. Am I going to play the Thrill of Possibility? I don't think I'm gonna play the Swarm in the main deck either, and I don't think I'm going to play the Molten Monstrosity either in the main deck. That leaves still some cards. I will play the Frenzy here. So this is 19 creatures, which is good for the Necromasses, but I'm a bit light on removal. I know there was a question, choice between Flowstone Infusion and what other card at some point when I took the Infusion over there. Don't actually... Maybe it was the Soul Tender. Yeah, it might have been the Soul Tender. because I wouldn't mind having 2 of these infusions. Now, the thing is that I'm not sure I would usually want to play like maybe double Bellow and the Battle Rage Blessing in this deck, because this deck doesn't have, you know, any instant or sorcery synergies. Usually you play in the blue, black and blue, red these cards, also because you care about having this card type in your deck, or rather you care about casting them for the relevant triggers and having them in your graveyard for Tolarian Terror. Now this deck doesn't care about having these things in your graveyard or casting them. So the only thing they do is, you know, to do what they say. And they are more cuttable in that case. Problem is, do I want to... There are still some kind of interaction that can help me, you know, win creature combat. Can help me win creature combat. I think I could maybe cut the Vivisector. So let's see my 2-drop creatures. That would be Knight, Vibrant and 3 Steel Crushers. That's actually a little bit on the low side. I might actually have to cut like one of the Bellows, and then there is still one cut to make. I mean, this is the mana. I mean, the dragon abilities don't do anything. This is basically, you can just block everything below the keyword ability Menace. But a 3/3 Menace, it is a good stat line. I'm gonna play it. But what is the cut? Or is it going to be 16 lands? I don't know if it can be 16 lands. Now the problem is... No, there's no problem. I was saying that there's not really card advantage in this deck, but there actually is. Double Soul Tender and the Rager are always to, you know, get some cards, extra cards. This, of course, just when you cast it and it resolves, you get the card. These are still going to be useful in the graveyard later in the game. I'm not cutting the Frenzy. That is pretty decent. Yeah, I don't like cutting the Vivisector. Now, I like my 3-drops. I actually want to play the Rivas too. I like the Kavu, but I guess the Kavu is like a slightly worse than the Rivas. Now this can hit for 4, but you do have to, you know, sink 2 mana to it for that to happen. I like the 4-drops here. I think the Connoisseur makes a little bit sense too. It's actually quite good with these things, because this is sacrifice at the beginning of the end step, the token, not exile, so it's a guaranteed trigger for this thing every turn when both of these are on the battlefield. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at the amount of 3-drops in here, it just has to be the Kavu, right? I mean, I'm gonna cut a 3-drop, and I think I like the Rivas like slightly more than the Kavu, so I'm gonna cut the Kavu. And that's it. 17 lands in addition to these 14 plus 14. Of course, that's 28 because, you know, I have these golden cards and these count for both colors. So the double caster business in this deck is 2 red, 1 black, but the black one is 5-drop. The red ones are 2-drops. So, well, I guess the Knight of Dusk's Shadow wants to have access to also a lot of swamps. It would be awkward at 6 mana to have 4 mountains, 2 swamps, because you couldn't, you know, pump it 3 times. But I think the double casters on the Gardener make me want to play more red sources. I have totally the same amount of these cards. You could maybe, if you have a very double caster heavy deck with no, you know, none of those tap lands to help fix your mana to cast them, you could play Salvaged Mana Worker in such decks. But since I only have actually 3 double casters, that's not really a reason enough to do that. But I could see if I had like a 3 more very good double casters, I could replace the Vivisector with the Mana Worker just to make it a little bit easier to cast my spells. But not in this case when I have only these 3. Okay, so that means I have 9 mountains. Sadly, I didn't get the, you know, the dual land. I really would have wanted to get it. But there was, you know, there was Garna in the same pack. Classic 9/8. So let's see how my mana will work here. Not the most reliable mana base, even though it is a 2-color deck with 17 lands. But yeah, that is the main deck. There's some sideboarding options. We'll see how useful they become. once I get the matchups. Well, there you go, 9-8 mana base. Now this is a double, so if I get the swamp, this will be a good hand. I can buy some time with this, but my deck has literally 8 swamps. That is 1 out of 4 chance to find one. I mean, slightly lower than that because I have 33 cards left in my deck currently, not 32. But because of the combination of Lagomos into Garden is really good because I mean you get the red, you get to attack with the 2/1, and the opponent really doesn't want to block it because you get to draw a card. And then if they don't block it, they take 2 from it first and then 1 at my end step. So that's 3 free damage per turn, unless I get given a card. So I'm keeping this because it's such a strong hand, but this could really backfire if I don't draw swamps, and especially if I keep drawing black cards. I can draw, you know, red cards, but well, I did draw 1, but that requires at least a creature on the battlefield, which I don't yet have. So I really that thing to kill this thing by a little bit of time, hopefully, and come on. Yes, perfect. So because normally the Soul Tender would be better, but because I have the Gardener for the next round, of course, don't get value from this. Okay, no, actually my third draw was a swamp, and roughly 25% of the deck was swamps in there, so that was kind of okay. Now, because of the I want to kill the Guardian, I'm gonna just attack here for with both of these, just to hope they will block one of these guys, and okay, they don't want to risk that. That means I can still play the Guardian turn. Yeah, because this is quite annoying, but of course the activation is 5 mana. Now it is also a load effect, so obviously every creature they have will get +1/+1, but I have the Bellow and the Battle Rage Blessing enable me to keep attacking here a little bit, but of course I'd rather them just have blocked, because if they blocked there I could have used either of my tricks and then still played the Steel Crusher, so that would have been quite nice. So they played that main phase, it has flash, so they have a bite down. Understandable, and they are not going to attack with that. Well, I guess my turn is gonna be a Soul Tender and a Furious Bellow. How good is the Warbrute? It doesn't actually matter because, yeah, I should have played this pre-combat. The Scry doesn't matter at all. I guess I'm gonna mill this because it was gonna be, you know, more creatures in my graveyard. Yeah, that was a mistake. I think I'll still play the Soul Tender. Because I could play the Steel Crusher, but then if I want to cast this on the next turn, I have only 5 mana. So only 5 mana. So if I cast the Steel Crusher right now, yeah, then the next turn I could only choose one of these, because even though I have a 3/2, I don't have 2 swamps, so I wouldn't be able to cast both of these guys, so I will take the Soul Tender here. Now if they activate this ability, they get a 1/1 token and this becomes a 3/4, so it is possible that they can block with the token or the Soul Tender, but they couldn't block with these because they would still lose the Battle Rage Blessing. But they can make the token indestructible, which is a bit sad. But I guess I don't mind the Soul Tender dying, so I can get back my Lagomos. they can sack this thing to keep the token indestructible. But now I dealt with that. Hopefully they can't get it back. Shan. This thing has life link and they get cards if they... Yeah, okay, that's bad. Oh, that is bad. Well, oh, okay. Ah, man. And they have even this thing, target legendary creature against hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. They have to sack it though. Or I mean exile it actually, but... they're gonna draw a card. No, draw X cards. They can gain 3 life and draw X cards. Which and X being up to 3 if they pay that much mana. Okay, that is quite horrible, but I don't think I can. I mean, I'm not gonna double block this because they have the Plaza of Heroes. So I could play the. Well, I guess I can still double block with Lagamos and that, but I'm gonna enlist this guy now. Like so. At least I get to deal 4 or make them jump block with the 1/1. Okay, they have a way to save Shanna. Well, that's bad. Okay. I won't be. I wish I had some way to deal the 1 extra damage here. That would be so good, but no such luck. This is at the beginning of the end step. Okay, they can't draw 1 card now. But they are now at 15 life, so all the damage I have dealt is now nothing because they have a life linker here. So I do have 6 mana here, but I can't. I mean, I guess I mean they get to draw 3, and that's they gain 3 life and draw 3 cards on the next turn, and they still have mana to do something else after that. I just can't really. I mean, the problem is that if I double block it, they make it indestructible, so it's not even going to. I'm not gonna even be able to threaten them too much. So I guess I'm just gonna use the Soul Tender, get back the Garna here and try to do something with the combination there. I need to find a kill spell on this thing. I have, for example, the Jaya's Fire Nado, don't I? But that actually prevents them from gaining life. Wow, that is huge. That is really huge. Could they have some way to untap it? I guess they could. So let's play this just in case, by the way. But they did draw all those. All those cards in there, so they only need like removal. But let's see for the off if there's a chance they. I mean, if they don't have a removal spell, well they do. Okay, I'm actually done now. I don't care. That's too many cards they can get there. Because you know I'm not gonna block with the Garna here because they have to steal this up. They make this indestructible and then I lose my Garna and they gain their life. If I don't block, they go to 17 and again they draw up to 3 cards. I'm not going to beat them with this combination. This Shanna is just too good in here. So my sideboard has like Enthrall to the Pit. At 7 mana I can kill the thing. I really wish I had those bone splinters because I had a very high incentive to pick one because of double Lagamos. Bone splinter is of course good with this card as well. So I just didn't get them. I don't think I saw any bone splinters in the draft. No. What is good and what is bad? I guess the vivisector isn't usually that great against green decks, which I'm facing here. So I can take maybe like another trick, Furious Bellow, and let's try with this. I lost to the 1 mythic rare there. Let's try to not lose to a mythic rare again. They also had like 4 colors in there because they had the lightning strike and then they had the banned colors there. So let's hope they don't get the perfect mana here that easily. Okay, well that is definitely a good start for me. Any reason to know that doesn't actually matter. I can play this and attack into that guy. I have full information available, so the block is trivial, but it doesn't really matter if I do this instead post-combat or not. Okay, so that's a free attack, but I can take the... They might still have the trick I saw in the previous game, and because of the Gardener, I'm not gonna risk. I can take the one. But this was an attack they were gonna make anyway. It seems like they have a spell there, so I'm not going to attack with one as well. They might have the +2/+2. Okay, I work hard now. That's really good. Oh, there's the Connoisseur too. Well, my start was perfect. 2, 3, 4, all these powerful uncommons. That is really good. Now, am I going to do what exactly? I really want to play the Connoisseur, but I would want to kill this now. But I guess I can take one attack here. It's not really... I mean, I'm at 19. This is gonna be deal for... Yeah, this is not gonna be a pump itself. But they have this, they have the pump spell. The +2/+2 won't save this. Of course, if they have like a Gaia's Might, then it will. They also have 2 mana up because they can tap this and then they can tap the legendary creature here. It doesn't matter that it has Summoning Sickness. Now, I'm going to play the Connoisseur here and not do anything else. I'm not going to attack with the Nightmare obviously because it would just double block anyway. But I can attack here and they have a choice of giving me a card or taking 3 damage. They chose to give me a card. This gets the counter regardless. Now if I'm gonna lose this game then I don't know how would I have been able to win. I have played only uncommons. This is 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop uncommons. Okay, they had that thing there at least. They didn't even gain the life, so they kicked it for no reason. Because they did kick it. Now they don't have... No, they have still 1 mana up because of that thing. I guess I could, kill the Relic of Legends. Alright, but I have now 6 mana, so I can make this into a 5/5. If their trick is not Gaia's Might, but the +2/+2, then I can kill the Tori Devenant. But I guess it's just safer to, kill it with the Guarnado. I still couldn't attack with them. I mean, if I cast this, I can't pump this, so then they have a double block available. So maybe I will try it like this. I can make it up to 5/5. So once they double block it, I'm good if it. I'm fine with this trade. I'm not gonna even pump it anymore, am I? Because I would have to pump it twice for this not to die. I don't mind the trade here. Then I can play the Steel Crusher, and I get the card from the trade as well. That happened. So there's a card. Oh, I have this in my deck. That is really sweet. Yeah, it's very hard for 5 creatures to die. 1, 2 have died. Yeah, 3 will die. Oh, actually, well, you know what? I can kill the Mana Worker. So The Knight of Dusk Shadows died. Tori Davenant died. This will die in my end step. That's 3. I can kill the mana worker and then I can fetch a... Well, of course I'm gonna do that. But let's put a stop just in case to my end step, because I need to wait for this thing to get sacrificed. Alright, so there you go. I can get any card from my deck. What card do I get? Necromancy is good. There's not like anything like too amazing. It's gonna be like a Necromass or maybe you know, Radha. I'm leaning towards the Necromass. I could even take something like a Phyrexian Rager, but let's take the Death Toucher here. Yeah, I'm not gonna block. I can take the one here, and I'm pretty sure they do have it. Okay, that can... Okay, well... I assume they can give this +2/+2 at least. So, using up the Fire Nado wouldn't be that great. But I have the first strike trick here now, so I'm actually going to attack with the Gardener now. Because that's 7 power first striker if it gets blocked. Even if it is a Gaia's Might, it's not gonna be enough. They have only 3 basic land types. That's a good one to blow. That's it. That's it. Draw a card and then I can play only one of these spells. I guess I'll play this. No, if they have a Brat, then they have a Brat. I'm not gonna play around a Brat effect. They have a lot of these legendary creatures. In the first game I saw 2. Now I saw 2 which are not the same as in the first game. So the Relic of Legends makes sense. The Plus of Heroes definitely makes sense in this deck. But it's still, they have like four different colors, and I haven't seen a lot of, you know, Endless Tap lands, so it's like a lot of basic lands to play, you know, a double red, green, white, and then there's the blue mythic rare. I guess that's mostly a splash. I think this is like base green, white, but it still has a double red card, so I'm not exactly sure. So I'm just thinking if I should, you know, sideboard into something else. I'm maybe with the Zar or Janen, I do want to consider the second copy of... Well, second copy of Fire Nado, if I had one. I think I had the option to pick it in a draft, but I never did pick it, so I don't have that option available. So, how about Molten Monstrosity? It will be a 4-drop if I have one of the Gardeners up. It will be a cheap card if I get to enlist one of these and they choose not to block. All the 3 power creatures I have make this a 5-drop. I think I can play one Molten Monstrosity and maybe... I mean, what to cut though? One of the... Okay, I don't actually like to cut anything. That is... Oh... Maybe even the Rivage could be cut, but I do like the 3 mana 3/3 with Menace. Oh boy. Kind of want to play the Monstrosity, but don't think I can lose any other of these 2-drops. But is the +2/-1 actually good card in here? I mean, looking at what they have a lot of 3 toughness or more creatures. Maybe the Flowstone Infusion just isn't gonna be that good. And I will put the 1 more big creature in here. And I don't think I'm gonna play this thing, because this is mostly playable only at 7 mana. Or unless I exactly win with the Steel Stolen Creature, which is not that reliable. Okay, I won't be doing the Enthrall to the Pit. Okay. Okay, not great at all. They mulliganed. I'm gonna mulligan too. This hand requires to just draw too many lands for this to do anything. I'm gonna mull. Okay, this 6 is much better. And I don't really like to cut a land here, but I don't want to cut the Frenzy either here. I want to have my 2 and 3 drop. I guess the choice is between a land and a Necromass. I like the Frenzy because I can have like a 2 mana Steel Crusher Lagomos on turn 3. On turn 4 I can attack with the Steel Crusher and the Lagomos and the token and use the Frenzy here. Even if Lagomos dies I will draw a card, hopefully it brings down whatever is blocking it. So I think I will cut the Necromass because it's not gonna be castable in anytime soon. Okay, now I see some lands from them. Okay, that is now again a very good curve. Well, I do have 2 Lagomos and 2 Garnas, but this is funny that I'm able to do this curve out so much. Alright, so I'm gonna play this because of the guy now. The next turn, this guy will be bad either. What happens? There's no reason to. I mean, I could enlist the token, but why would I do that? Let's just attack with both. Thing. Happy to make that block. My 2 drop trading with their 3 drop. That's value. They also have a black in the deck, so this is actually 5 colors, isn't it? So they had nothing. This might just be an easy win when they're struggling to get their colors. They do have 3 lands, but they don't have the correct colors. Now they have a Captain's Call there. Okay, don't play this because it is legendary. So if they triple block the Lagomos, I can actually kick the or the Garna. Yeah, I mean of course I'm gonna make them block the Garna because then I just play the other Garna. Right. Yeah, I could attack with the Lagomos too, but if they do triple block the Lagomos for some reason, I would be a little bit sad, but maybe not that much. I would draw a card, and they would take 6 plus 4, 10. They would be at 4 life, and I would have still the Garna here, and I would draw 1 card. Oh, actually, I would draw 2 cards because I would be able to draw the card from this thing too. So it is worth it. So I don't mind if they block the Garna or the Lagomos. I think they are gonna block the Garna anyway, but this way I get to deal 1 additional point of damage. Okay, they actually chose that line. Well, I mean it is 1 power creature only, but this is good because this will apply to the token in the end step 2. I will draw a card from this trigger. And of course they take the also the damage here too. Yet another card steal. Okay, so now of course I did lose my fantastic combination, but if this Garna dies I still have a... Oh, they have the jump block now. I don't have a kill on that. So there's no guaranteed victory, but they just have to jump now. I can play... I guess the Necromass. I could play this though. That actually allows me to keep mana up for this. If they actually have a mushroom, destroy every creature. Or is there such a card though? I don't think. But I still like this because this is a lethal attacker which requires 2 blockers because of the menace. So it's actually better than this. In the sense that it takes only 1 blocker to deal with this Necromass for temporarily though. Okay, so that was it. Game 3. I mean, we both mulliganed to 6, and they didn't play. They missed their 4th land drop, but they had access to 3 lands, and they didn't really cast much there. Their first spell. I mean, they did have the Skyrider though. Yeah, they traded with my 2 drop with that, and then they had the Captain's Call, but they missed the 4th land drop, I think, once at least. So, well, all I'm saying, I was able to play a good mana curve here because I have a 2-color deck. Despite the mulligan, I still was able to curve out, and they probably had some cards in their hand they couldn't cast with these lands because they were the wrong colors. Yeah, I have to keep it. Because only one land I can get to cast the Rager and of course the Soul Tender as well. And I even do a 2-drop here so I can cast that and maybe the Battle of Rage Blessing unless this guy dies right away. And there is the third land. Alright. Should I start with... I mean, it really depends if I draw a 4th land or not. I do want to play this guy on turn 4 if possible. Okay, Blessing might actually... Oh, I get the Ideal Curve out as well. I think this still is the curve when I'm just gonna attack into that thing and make it lie. I don't want them to start doing the mill. And this 05 will block a bunch of my attacks, so it's better to get rid of that thing, even though it is not so great use for my mana. I use 2 mana, but I mean the 1 mana will not be usable here now, but I wanted to get rid of this guy anyway. Okay, so if I draw a land I can, you know, play the Gardener and attack into that guy. If they trade, I also get a card. If I don't draw a land, well, I did, so... Well. Okay, I kept 2 lands and now I am already 4, so... That was nice. Okay, Connoisseur. Soul Tender can mill some creatures to make the Necromass castable. I again have the combination. This is probably the best black-red deck I have played. I wouldn't mind having, you know, some couple of other spells would be replaced with 1 Bone Splinter and 1 Lightning Strike, and then I would like it because some removal would maybe be, I mean, would definitely make the deck better. But the quality of these uncommons is really good. Okay, so they play nothing. What's this? I can't actually double spell here, so I should consider just playing the Connoisseur here, but... So let's say if they have something like a counter spell, like an Essence Scatter. They might have a removal spell too. I'm gonna cast the Connoisseur, that's the best use for 1 mana, and let's see what they do. If they counter it, fine, I attack for 4, and then Necromass will be also a 5 mana spell. If they don't counter it, and then, I mean, if they might have a kill spell and choose to kill the Gardener right now, they don't. So now if Gardener dies, this gets a counter. So they might of course have a Rona's Vortex to bypass a death trigger, but okay, they had actually nothing right now. So what's their spell of the turn? They had the Rona's Vortex, but they realized the flyer might be nastier stuff, but they don't know that I have this sweet combination of cards. So now I can... Still no double spell though. Honestly, I would have preferred a land over the Rivas, because then I could just play, you know, Lagamos into something else. I could, you know, be lucky and draw land with the Phyrexian Rager here, but if I don't draw land, it's the weakest. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just do this now. Oh, they have a 1 mana. Okay, they have a card. They have a spell. I guess then they have a spell. I mean, it can be like a Gas Might, +3/+3. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. Oh, that happened. I guess that Gas Might isn't used up now. I still have, you know, threats here. I don't like them having an active Wogar, but I do have good threats in here. And the Soul Tender can, in the end, get my Gardener back. So now what I do here is... I guess I'll just first see what happens when I try to attack with the 2. I'm gonna take 2. And now what? What do I want to get countered? Maybe they can counter the Rager. Or maybe the Many Sky is not as good. I want to resolve this to make, you know, the Necromancy even cheaper, so... Okay, let's get the Many Sky. Also, that means if they don't have a counter spell, this is harder to block. I'm gonna do this. Creature, land. Okay, Necromancy is a 4-drop right now. So they have at least a looting ability. Shadow Prophecy, but they will lose 2 life, okay. Get 2 cards out of 3 lands. 3. They can choose from 3 cards to keep 2 in their hand. And the one goes into graveyard. Let's see what it is. They might actually need more mana, because they were stuck at 4. Okay, so there was a counter spell that requires white. I guess that's the domain deck then. They can cast instant and sorceries from their graveyard, but it will cost them 2 extra. They have to pay the cost, and this is only a sorcery speed activation. I mean the latter one, not the looting one. So currently the options are like Rona's Vortex, and I don't think they're gonna use something like a Shadow Prophecy again. Well, they are thinking about the discard. They do have 6 cards in their hand, and they don't find easily the one to discard. That is a little bit, troublesome. So they decided to not keep a cheap creature. There is that much. Why Death Toucher at least? You know, can deal with. I guess I can do this because I have the mana to cast the Necromancer regardless. Let's first see what I draw. I might draw a trick. That's the first like +3/+0 thing. Oh, another Gardener. That is... I'm gonna play that instead of the Necromancer. Because now I can attack with like everything. Because I get not with the Lagomos of course. But I mean I can attack with all of these. I don't care if they die. Plus, yeah, I mean, this is absolutely... I mean, everything that dies in combat gives me a card. This is not like once per turn. It applies for everything. And they cannot block the Rivas without, you know, losing one of these other... I mean, they can... This has Menace, so... They might choose to take 5 damage here as well. Although that's a lot when they are at 10. So now I get 2 cards, and they get... killed instead. Okay, more Soul Tenders, and that also makes my Necromancer slightly cheaper. Well, they still have the active Looter and a bunch of cards in their hand, so it's not over. If they can kill the Gardener though, I can return one with the Soul Tender, and then I have the other Soul Tender too. They're playing really slow there, but I guess they have, you know, they have to try to find a way to survive through my onslaught. If they have another like a Sojourner, it's gonna be a little bit annoying. But I mean, I'm more concerned about them removing my engine here, because they can't really take the 2 damage from this thing. But if they block during combat with something that has other than 0 power, they will allow me to draw a card. So they have this full domain deck because there's a Meria's Outrider. I guess I haven't seen any white card yet, but this thing has a white kicker, so I think they are just a domain deck with all 5 land types. Although based on their lands they are Sultai. But they do have the Meria's Outrider in their deck. Tribute there. Don't quite have the mana to use this with 5 and cast the Gardener there. Necromancer will be quite cheap. I'm thinking about attacking with the Rager here actually. because I will get the 2-1 in here, assuming they don't have something with the 1 mana available. They can like kill the Rager with this Sojourner. I don't mind if they block with the War at anything. I could even, you know, attack with the Lagomos too for 1 point. Before, yeah, I'm gonna actually just try to pressure them here. They are not really in a position to. If they put the Sojourner on the Lagomos, they will have to block with the Vohar. And then Lagomos will basically trade with Vohar. Yeah, I'm gonna attack with everything. I don't think they're gonna block the Lagomos here. But anyway, what's gonna happen is I can play 1 mana Necromass, and then I can play a 3 mana Soul Tender. No, I can play 1 mana Necromass and then 2 mana Steelcrusher and then use the Soul Tender, but okay, they actually choose to do that, which is fine for me. They go to 2 here. Hopefully they have nothing to save the Vohar here. 1 point. They didn't mention food in there. Interesting. So I'm gonna play the Necromass for sure. Then, I mean, I could just play all the creatures because, I mean, they're at 2. They need a mass removal effect here. I'm actually doing that. And then there's also the fact that I might just draw land on the next turn. I mean, the only way they save here themselves is that they have a mass removal effect of some kind. But -2 isn't enough because that will not kill the Rivas or the Writhing Necromass. So this activation is 5 mana, and currently I'm at 8, so I could get something that costs 3. Well, that could be even the Lagomos, yeah, because the Lagomos, I have 2 Lagomos in the graveyard actually, yeah. So I didn't even need to draw land. I mean, Lagomos might have been better than the Garna in this situation. Okay, so that is like a green-black domain deck. I guess the blue is mostly a splash. The red is definitely a splash, and I don't know how many ways they have to kick this thing here. But let's keep in mind they have the Gaia's Might. This thing, yeah, these big creatures, including the 4/6, they require these tricks. I'm gonna take the Furious Bellow, and maybe again the Vivisector can go away. I will play the Infusion because it's a good answer on the Vohar. Plus whatever else they might have, but being able to kill the Vohar is really nice, so that's gonna be there. I think the Molten Monstrosities, I'm not sure though, because I usually win the late game. I'm sorry, lose the late game against the full-fledged domain deck, but I do have some nice late game myself too, but I think I'm gonna use this deck for now, so I just cut the Vivisector and put another Bellow here to push through. I'm not quite desperate enough to use the Vanquish's Axe to enable myself to push through. That is a pretty clumsy card after all. Okay, well this is a perfect hand again, because 3 lands, both colors, and a 2-drop and a 3-drop is what you basically are looking for in a liquid deck, and this definitely can deliver with a very high quality. Actually my first pick in the draft. Now they might have the -2/-2, but regardless, this is too good to pass up. I mean, yeah, they didn't have it, because now whatever blocker they have is, well, I guess they could be a 3-power creature, but it's a bit unlikely, so this can connect for 3 right away. Then I can play the Rager, turn 4 a couple of these Steel Crushers. I do hope they don't have the -2/-2 mass removal, because that's gonna wreck my entire board. I did not see that in the game 1 at least, but they could have based on their colors. They main phase that thing. Why would they main phase it? They already played the land. I don't play blue, so there was no reason for them to do that now, because I mean they have selection. They have actually, you know, 3 different land types, so the domain is 3. So they have to choose which of those 3 they are not gonna keep, and what they want to keep might be affected by what I'm gonna play on the next turn. So there was no reason to cast this right now. There was a Mossberg Ancient. That's a good one as well. Now, I mean, I guess if they have the -2/-2 card, they might be played right now. But if they don't, I mean, I'm gonna have to. The Blight Pile can, in fact, block the Blight Pile. That's a shame. Anyhow, now I'm gonna have to do this. Because I found it gonna keep attacking on the side. Add to the board quite a bit. I mean, this can be a 4-2 thanks to the Rager. This is menace and pumpable. But now it's the moment of truth. I'm only talking about the -2/-2 massive removal effect because I've been wrecked by that in the past, and that is the kind of card that can really just make me almost lose on the spot. Not quite, but it would be very close to losing on the spot because they have so many other cards left. So if I lose my board now, I didn't have it, so that is now all fine. I can just kill the Illusionist, I think. That is worth it. With the Fire Tornado, get the Scry. Because the other option is of course to use the Bellow in here. If they try to block. I mean, there's a possibility they will double block the Knight of Dusk Shadow. Okay, actually, because of that possibility, I don't mind if they trade with either of these creatures on the Steel Crusher. But if they double block the Knight of Dusk Shadows, I'm gonna kill them both. Because I can pump it and then give it +3/+0 and first strike. So that's what I hope they will do. Nope. So now I have the option to save the Steel Crusher, which I actually will do because otherwise I just pump this once and play the second Steel. Oh, then again, I mean, I do have the second Steel Crusher. I only need basically 1 for the Rager. So yeah, let's do this. I will save the Bellow for some, you know, bigger threat. Also the Fire Tornado can kill something like the Emeria's Outrider. The 3/3 is still not so good against my board in here. And they have, you know, all but planes, so I don't really care about them having the, you know, the land changing ability here on the Pixie Illusionist. I actually do need to maybe save the Furious Bellow on the 4/6, which they might have. They might also have a Urborg. What's the raised dead effect with Kicker? They have a Bone Rat. They can take this the big life gaining 7-drop now. That I don't like. But I guess I can try to push through it using the Furious Bellow. Sure. Well, now that I drew the Fire Tornado, what am I supposed to do? No, I didn't draw the Fire. I drew the Soul Tenderer, so double spelling here is an option. If they double block the Knight, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be able to kill them both. So I guess I'm gonna do the same plan. Not gonna use the Fire Tornado pre-combat. This Knight of the Dusk Shadow actually prevents them the life gain. That is really relevant now because that Mossberg Ancient is a gain 5 life as ETB. So let's do this. And again, let's hope they do double block the Knight here. Because I can now pump it twice to make it 4 power, and then give it +3/+0 and first strike. They might just actually play around the Furious Bellow. They might choose to do that, yeah. They don't want to risk it. So now I will pump this guy once and play the Soul Tenderer. definitely the... Oh, I got a combination here, but I can only bring back one of them. But I still have one of both in the deck. Yep. Okay, they don't actually have 7 mana even now. But maybe if they kill the Knight of Dusk Shadow now, then they get the 5 life from it. Yeah. So I actually would have preferred them to just wait. No, they do have it. So that was perfect for them. That is now really nasty. They're gonna go to 14. Well, I'm gonna do this just to, you know, scry, maybe find something. They have guys fighting. Okay, Necromancy is good. But yeah, they're gonna go now to 4 unless they have kill spell, and then they're gonna go back to 9. Yeah, the Mossberg Ancient is annoying. They're gonna vortex that, so I don't even get to bring anything back. So they go now to 7, and then... Well, I do have the Necromancy, so if they don't have a kill on the Necromancy... Again. They have a kill on the Necromancy. Oh my god, now they can attack for 7. I'm not winning this race unless I draw something, but I can draw something. Like Garna here. Oh, that's really sweet with the... But they have played around the Curious Spell all the time, so I think they are not going to... But they might be forced to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna actually just... I mean... If they have yet another trick, be my guest. It doesn't seem like they're doing. Let's hope they don't have recursion to bring it back. And that guy is gonna be able to... So they can sack lands to gain life. I have the flyer here, which is pretty good, and it's green and black. So they have black, black, green. So they can make it into a 2/5 now. And go to 14 life. But it's fine if they block the Rager, I don't mind, because I get to draw a card and this thing gets a counter. They can't kill the Gardener now. They can do it on the next turn. I'm assuming they're gonna sack 2 lands because they don't need all this. They can just sack a forest. Or a forest swamp. Yeah, forest swamp. They chose not to kill the Rager, which makes sense. Now they get a bunch of life here, so the Connoisseur isn't gonna be lethal anytime soon. But they also get to choose to put stuff to their graveyard from top of their library. They can fix their draws a little bit with this thing. But still in the game at least. I'm a bit scared if they choose to keep a hand. Okay, so they mill the Cult Conscript. That's a good card to mill for sure. Then here they have another land, so now they can make this guy into a bigger threat. But I'm still going to attack with the Rager. It's gonna trade into a card. So they don't have to know about the Warbrute. No longer am I gonna attack with the Garna, though. Obviously I'm not going to lose it. Because they can make this into a quite high power creature. I think they're gonna just take 5 plus 10 gain of a bunch of life, obviously. Okay, fire bigger and give me a card. And I can cast both of these. That was a really good turn now. I can't bring this back if nothing dies. They can't sack like all of their lands, they do need to leave some number of lands to cast their stuff. So they're down to 7 lands now. I guess they can go to like 5 lands maybe at least. No, now it's 6. What's the card in here? Do they mill it? They mill a land. Yep. There's a 5/5 threatening to be. Okay, that's like not very dangerous. So I'm gonna of course enlist the Garna for the Warbrute, and then the reverse can be. So that's gonna be like 7 plus 4, 11. Well, as the Rivas dies and Phyrexian Vivisector dies, they do get this 2-1 back though. But yeah, that's actually true. Do I want that to happen? Because I don't think they want to. I would be very happy if they block the Warbrute. Because they can't kill it unless they use up this Orc here. So if I attack with all these, they will in fact double block the Rivas, take 11. But I guess I get to draw a card in the end. They get this 2-1 back, but they will lose the Vivisector. They get the Scry there, but okay. Because I don't have a spell to play, I actually want to draw the card here. Rivas trading with the Phyrexian Vivisector is not the worst when I get to draw a card. I will have all my team tapped out. So, but at least they can't really deal 12 to me because they can sack 2 lands to make it, 7 power. Maybe they mill a land, 8 power, but then they don't really have mana to, sack more than 2. They can make it like 10 power, and that's assuming they have enough green and black sources there. I'm gonna do this. I guess I don't actually have to kill the Vivisector, as funny as it sounds. I could deal 3 to the Urk here. Because then they wouldn't get to Scry, wouldn't get to get this guy back. But, I mean, I guess I'm still gonna kill it. They Scry to top, okay. Get the conscript back. I forgot they get the conscript back, but I don't think... if they have a Gaia's Might there, I will lose now. Well... I will lose to a Gaia's Might for sure. Because I didn't draw a creature here. So with that in mind, maybe the Rivas wasn't... I just wanted to trade it into a card, but now I'm really regretting that choice, but... Yep, that is now +4 from Gaia's Might is lead. Okay, they actually chose to now to mill. It was a creature, but they chose not to keep it. And that's not a Gaia's Might. Okay, so they first kept the elf, because they Scryed to top there. But now I have a flyer, which can be dealing 5. And this Lagomos is obviously a great draw, so I think this is now lethal. They can gain 2 life, they add 6, but they take 5 here. And then all I need to do is not attack with the token here. Yeah, because then, this... Yeah, that's right. If I don't attack with a token... I mean, they have nothing to deal with the flyer. This just attacks them to, -1, but they will gain 2 life. They go to, 1. But I mean, I guess if I just attack with the Warbrute regardless as a 7 power trampler, I mean, it's also going to be enough. Yeah, I mean... Let's say they had a massive amount of blockers in here, which they didn't, but if they did, I could have, if none of them could block a flyer, I would have been able to do the plan so that the Connoisseur attacks and they have to sack a land to go to 1, and then this token didn't attack, it dies in the end step, so this makes the final damage. But of course now I had basically, if I enlist the Gardener, that's 7 power trample and the token has trample as well, so that's 9 power trample and 5 power in the air, so that would have been enough to push through without any shenanigans. Okay, on the play with a 2-drop, 3-drop, both colors, 4 lands. Usually such hands which have 3 or 4 lands should be quite good, unless you really just draw only like combat tricks or something like that. Phoenix Chick. Okay, so that's probably not going to be domain deck, I would assume. This might be like a white-red deck. red-green, some of the aggressive archetypes. Mirror, red-black. They have a knight as well. Well, I mean, I can double block it, but it's not really great. I think I'm gonna have to raise here. They will deal 3 to me, but I'm actually going to play hard with my 3 power creature here because raising. Oh, I didn't actually want to meet the first 2 of these. Especially the frenzy would have been amazing in a raising situation. And I also did mill 3 non-lands. I'm not gonna draw a land here. Rivas is okay. So now they have a block on the Vivisector and kill on the Soul Tender, so I can't actually... That's not really making any sense to attack with the Vivisector. I will just attack with the Soul Tender and play my 3-3 guy, I guess. Okay, I'm happy they block there because now I don't have to worry about the -1/-1. I get to even scry here. Necromas. Oh, but yeah, absolutely. I can exactly do that. So now that I know what I'm about to draw. So I play the Rivas now. Next turn I can have a Rager into Battle Rage Blessing. Now I could, you know, double block the knight here. But let's see if they're gonna attack into it. Because with mana up, they can have like a lightning strike on the Rivas and then pump this to be a 3-3. They just had that. The Necromas still on top. We go to 12 now. Oh, they might even pump it. I might go to 11. Still, I would have rather, of course, gone to 11. Have them play another sprouting. So this is not a black-red deck. It actually has green also. Well, be my guest. And this is now a very cheap card, of course, because I did play the milling, the thing that milled 2 creatures earlier, so I guess it's time to play the Necromas and leave mana up for the Blessing. Now, I kind of want to block the Knight of Dusk Shadow, which I cannot do if I attack with the Rivas. So let's see. I'm pretty likely to not lose the Necromas because I can have the Battle Rage Blessing up. They can still attack with the Flyer. I'm going to 11. With the Knight of Dusk Shadow I'm going to go to 9 or 8 or 7 depending on how many times they pump. So is this race winnable? If I decide to not deal 3, they can only attack for 1 because the Blessing is gonna be making it pretty likely for me to be able to block here, but I guess I'm going to steal a race here for now. I'm gonna take 1 life loss from the Rager, but this is now them at 15, and if they use mana on the pump here, they can't apply, put more stuff to the board, so it was a tough one. I could have saved at least 2 life here by... Okay, they choose that line. Sure, I get to trade with some trigger players. Fury spell, hopefully they don't have another. I guess there's not much they can have there. So they lose their Goblin. I guess I should have let them scry first. Except that no, that would have been bad because they could have with the 2 mana a bite down. So if I let this become a 5 power creature, they can then bite down in response to the Battle Rage Blessing. So I go now to 8. Well, I'm not gonna be dead on the next turn, and they are unlikely to have a 1 mana blocker. Let's attack them. Okay, so I'm still going to do this, of course. I could leave mana up for that thing, return something like a Lagomos, but I might also leave blockers on the Knight of Dusk Shadow now. Let's see what I draw here actually. Let's do that first. Just a land, so making it a little bit more difficult. Because I can make them go to 8 now. If they have an untapped black producing... No, they have only 1 swamp. No, I was wrong. They have the bog here. So if they have a swamp here now, they can pump this 3 times. That's gonna be 6 damage to my 7 life. So a swamp isn't gonna kill me if I attack with both now. And then they are gonna need a blocker themselves. They go to 8. It is a little bit awkward. The problem is if they do have a removal on one of these, then I can't block this guy anyway. So definitely attack with the Necromancer. Because the problem is if they attack with these both and like pump this once, I go to 3 and then they have a blocker of some kind. They can block the Necromancer and I don't have a lethal attack on the next, and I'm actually gonna attack the Necromancer because I can take the Phoenix Stick for multiple turns here, but I can't take that guy. Okay, at least they don't get to attack. My brand is good, but now I'm also, you know, staring at a pretty big trampler there. So if I attack with the Necromancer, I'm just gonna lose because I would need 2 blockers on there. They don't have a 3rd black source, but this is at least a 4 power creature. Well, I guess if this is 4 and this is 1, that is exactly 5 damage, and I have 3 plus 2 on the trampler. So, you know, that would work, but I think it's worth it to just but I have the 3. Oh, sorry, this is actually gonna be a 5-3 blocker as well. But I'm thinking about just attacking with the Rivas here. It would trade with the Knight, and that would be totally fine. If they choose to block, that is. If they don't choose... Okay, I think I like my... Because of the Soul Tender, I have some time here. I do hope they don't find like a, you know, mass removal. Sorry, not mass removal, a pump spell. Okay, this is fine. I get rid of the Dusk Shadow thing. And I just do this. They don't have a good attack now because I can just block with the Necromancer and then return with the Soul Tender. Another monstrosity, okay. That's still... Okay, at least I don't have a hand anymore. Okay. Not even sure if I want to... I need a blocker here, because if I attack with the Firebrand, yeah, the double monstrosity is bad. I guess if I attack with the Necromancer and the Firebrand, by the way, this Firebrand makes the Steel Crusher unable to block, then they have to block with one of the monstrosities. Because I threaten to deal 10 damage otherwise. Then I need to block, so they lose one monstrosity there. And then I can block the Rager on this thing, and then I need a... Let's assume they draw just a land. So I'm gonna go to 4. And I will have the Rager to block the Steel Crusher. And then one of the monstrosities has died at that point. And I can... Okay, I need the highest... I guess the... Yeah, Lagomos is better even. Maybe. Or the Reverse. It's gonna still be a blocker, so let's take the Lagomos, I guess. Okay, that's also good. So this is the idea. I think this is fine. They are forced to block with one of the monstrosities, and then I can block that if they are gonna then attack. And this is all gonna be good if they don't draw like an interaction. If they draw a land or a creature with no relevant abilities on that turn, I'm still in a decent shape here. This 2-1 doesn't actually matter here. If I attack with everything, I can make it... no, the Rager needs to stay and block. Okay, so they force me to now use the rudder here. No. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay, now I don't have to worry about the tramplers anymore, and I have my own Dusk Shadow here, and I can trade with this guy, and I got my 2-1s here. Yeah, this is actually sweet. Now the Phoenix Chick has been dealing with me. I mean, my life total since turn 1, but I mean, I'm still in a decent shape unless they draw a pump spell. So with the Furious Blow, this Furious Bellow, I mean, is of course pretty good. I don't have a lethal attack though. I think I will not use the Bellow. I'll just do like this. I'm still losing to a pump spell on the Phoenix Chick. They also have a garden here. This is getting very tricky here. So they can attack with the Steel Crusher and enlist the Phoenix Chick. But no, that makes a little sense because I can just make. Oh, it's a 3-2. Yeah, they get to draw a card, but I mean, this thing can be a. It's not really a big deal. I can just trade this on the card. Okay, so now it's a lethal attack. Yep. I mean, with the knight, without the Furious Bellow even. That was, they really didn't maybe think through. Maybe they, this was gonna be a big threat anyway because this needs the 2 blockers and I had many pumps there. So I don't know what the green is really for. Is it just, is there like a basic forest in the deck because they have this one thing with kicker? It's possible. And they might have some green kickers, of course. Like an Urborg repossession. But yep. What do I sideboard against this deck? The Molten Monstrosities were the kind of cards that make me want to have the Furious Bellow here. How about my own Molten Monstrosity? I don't think I still can play the Integral to the Pet because... Yeah, I just... it's only good if I have 7 mana or in the very, you know, specific scenario of me getting the final, you know, winning the race because I can steal the blocker and attack for a bunch of extra damage, but it's not something I can rely on happening, especially when I'm on the draw here. So what is the... least useful? I guess in this matchup the Sanctuary Connoisseur isn't that great as a 5 mana 3/3. So I could see doing that, but how about the Molten Monstrosity? Thing is that I don't want to lose miss out on the cheap creatures in this matchup. Definitely I need to have the early board presence. The Fire Nado is good on the Monstrosities. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to play my own of those things. This is fine. Okay, again, and I'm gonna keep it because I have the Lagomos Garden, but I need, of course, 2 lands soon enough, but I guess 1 is letting me at least play the Lagomos, and then I have the Battle Rage Blessing, so I need to get a little bit, you know, lucky here, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to draw 1 land in 3 draw steps. Okay, so far no luck. They don't have a swamp, but at least now they do, so... I don't know what the forests were, but... Okay, they also have this thing. So now they're in trouble. Okay, I did. So this is now quite good. Could just play the Rager, but then again, I happen to draw exactly the mountain, so now any land is good for the gardener. But I don't know if I... okay, let's do this. Let's do this, because I think I will maybe there 2-2. I mean 2-1 here. Because it's a free attack. And if I lose my Lagomos, then I lose it. It's not like I'm gonna block the 2-1 with the Phyrexian Rager. Okay, they do have mana up for their Garna. Stupid Dragon. So they didn't actually... They should have maybe attacked before playing the Dragon Belt, because there was a chance I'm not gonna block it. Okay, so... I'm definitely attacking first. See what they do. I'm not going to use the Battle Rage Blessing because I need my land drop, so let's play this guy. Okay, so five draws have given me one land. At least the land happened for turn 3, so I haven't really missed that many plays. And once I can get the Garna, it will be... Well, that's also blue. Okay, lightning strike, so forget that. Now I'm in trouble, I take 4 damage here. Yeah, now this one. Even if I draw a land, I'm so much... I mean, I can't win the race ever in this situation. Can't even block the 2-1 profitably. Yeah, I'm taking at least 4 damage on the next turn without any progress to dealing any damage. But yeah, they had a good start, they had the interaction. I'm missing my land drop number 4, which is important in this hand. So, not much to do. I guess I can learn what they have in their deck, but I can double lightning strike. They have good interaction. Okay, just kill everything I have. Sure, let's go next. Final game of the event. So they have those lightning strikes and stuff. I guess I just have to somehow I don't know, play enough cheap creatures that they don't get such an overwhelming board while they are using their cheap removal to get rid of my stuff. Because, for example, the Garnas are 4 mana creatures that die to the 2 mana lightning strike, but not much I can do about it here. I'll just I'll be at least on the play here, so let's see if that helps. I'm on the play with a good hand, so I have had good hands in this event. That the previous game was like one of the exceptions. So I have either had just good starting hands, or if I had like a slightly risky starting hands, most of them have, you know, drawn the stuff I haven't needed. And now the opponent isn't actually playing this stuff turn 2. So here, can't play this. I'm gonna still go for the 3 power creature here. Oh man, look at this. What? I wish I went with this Rager. That was really annoying. Okay, so now what I can do is play the Garna and enlist the Steel Crusher. I mean, enlist the Soul Tender of the Steel Crusher. And if they block, I get to draw a card, which is really sweet, but I really hate about the meal happening there. I got the mountain there, I'm happy about that. I might, you know, get eaten by a lightning strike now, though. Garna, I mean, not me. Okay, just the well. Okay, now this is suddenly amazing. Don't think I need to do anything pre-combat. I mean, Rager could be played, but they are not gonna block, and even if they are, I'm not going to. I mean, if they wanna trade with the Soul Tender, I'm not gonna use the blessing because I would draw a card. So with that said, I mean, okay, let's just attack. It's like possible they will block the Soul Tender here if they don't want to take 7 damage here. Now I draw a card which might, you know, change my. Okay, I don't. I have changed what I play here on this turn. The actual question is though, am I supposed to leave mana up for the blessing or play the Steel Crusher? Huh. I mean, if they, but if they had a lightning strike, they would have used it on the Garna for sure. Yeah, I mean, if they use 2 mana to kill the Gardener, I still have the Blessing that can deal with the Dragon Whelp here. Yeah, let's just keep the pressure here. Yeah, I don't necessarily need the Gardener in here in this game. Now they just play to have a Lagos. Okay, so if I was really in trouble in the previous game, now the opponent is really in trouble. So they have a couple of 3 power blockers, but I can just Oh, they actually don't have a 3 power creature, so I can attack with Gardener if they double block to deal with it. The Blessing giving Death Touch kills both of the blockers, so this is actually trivial now. This is very trivial. Enlist here, attack here, and attack here. Enlist this, and there's no way they're gonna end up with any kind of good. Yeah, this is just doesn't matter who's first in the queue because this Death Touch makes it so that yeah, it's just fun. Now I'm in a position that I can play around various things, but I don't think black and red deck can have it can have like a 2 damage to all creatures, and it can have a -2/-2 to all creatures. And there's also the temporal Firestorm, is it? The red sorcery with white and blue kicker. So maybe that was like the only card that would make me not want to play the Revaster, but I would have played the Revaster and assumed that it's gonna be enough to win with the Furious Bellow on the next turn. Because there's the Red Saga that deals 2 damage to all creatures and to the opponent. So they would have gotten rid of the Soul Tender and the Rager, but I would have still had the Rivas and the Gardener there. Yep. Okay, well that was a little bit easier than game 2 there. And that was also the match number 3, and I did end up winning each of the matches, but yeah, this deck was, I mean, double Lagomos and double Gardener, with also ways to get them back with a Soul Tender. That was really good, and like I said earlier, if I had 1 Bone Splinter and 1 Lightning Strike, instead of maybe like I don't know, one of the Bellows and one of the Vivisector, or something like that, this would have been like a perfect deck, almost. At least a perfect deck that doesn't have any rares in it. But yeah, it was good to see that black-red can work in this format. It is not maybe the most impressive of these 2 color combinations. But I mean, I did have 2 of the build around uncommons, I mean, both of these versions, so that certainly helped because they also combine so well with each other. So, I mean, I don't need any rares if I have these powerful uncommons. But yeah, that was it for this draft, and I will see you in the next video then. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.